5 steps to produce an effective marketing campaign. We're going to give you some tips on how you can increase visibility, get more people seeing what you're up to, and then also give you some free strategies that you can use that are really good at consistently producing lead volume and generating clients. Because I cannot tell you how often I hear from small business owners like, yeah, I know I need to market, but I just don't have the marketing budget. Well, there's a lot that you can do in the organic and the free space. So who's excited for that? Go ahead and type in, let me know what you're hoping to learn today. And we're going to make this a really interactive training. I love live training, and I miss the days when we could be in a room and just really work together. So I hope that you guys will play with me. Okay, so Shelly is excited for consistent leads. That is awesome. And I'd love to hear from the rest of you. Okay, so Stan, sounds enticing. Tell me more. I love it.
I love it.
Okay, so this is the reason why I had a lot of challenges and struggled with marketing when I was launching Amy Walker Consulting, because this youngest boy right here was, I launched my business 6 weeks before he was born. My second youngest was 18 months old. So I had at the time a newborn, had an 18-month-old. I had a kindergartner, a second grader, and a fifth grader, and my husband was working nights. And so I remember looking at the things that we all do, right? Like the networking meetings. It's like, I can't go to a networking meeting. Like I have a newborn baby and another one. And it was crazy. And it was like, well, I can't travel to go to conferences. I can't sponsor events, and I had all of these things that I was like, I can't. And I remember one day having this conversation with myself, and I was like, Amy, don't tell me what you can't do. Tell me what you can. And so with a limited budget and limited ability to be outside of my house, I turned to organic online lead generation and mastered the skill. And here's the crazy thing, you guys, we've been in business so this little guy will be 9 in December. So in November, that means we're 9 as a company. So in almost 9 years, this is the first year ever that we have paid for any kind of advertising. And we have consistently, every single year, we have consistently generated somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000 leads per year for free. Is that crazy? And even with my paid ads, you guys, it's such a small percentage of the total number of leads that we bring in. And so I want you guys to master this skill and know that it is accessible, that it's not something you have to have a PhD in digital marketing in order to be effective here, but you do have to understand these principles and you have to be really, really consistent with it. So let's jump right in. And first of all, we have to do we're starting with the worst part. It's kind of like if you do the worst chore first, then everything else seems better. So I want you guys to understand how many leads you actually need in order to hit your sales goal. So this is a tool that I've built for my clients. And if anybody wants it, I'm happy to share it with you guys. But what it is it helps you. It's a conversion sheet. In fact, I'm going to stop this screen share, or I'm going to stop this right here. I'm going to go actually online and I will pull up the live version of it and we can play with some numbers here. So if you have a sales goal of $100,000 per month, which is an awesome sales goal, that's my sales goal every month. And then if you have a $10,000 product as your most popular product, it's going to calculate all the way down to how many leads you need. So if you have 10 leads or 10 sales that you need, if you close at a 40% closing ratio, it will tell you need to have 25 conversations. If only 75% of your appointments hold, it will tell you need to book 35.71. If 20% of the leads that you talk to say, yeah, I'll schedule a call, then you need to talk to 178.57. And if you only ever get a hold of 20% of your leads, then you need a total of 892 leads. Okay, that's how many, well, it's actually 893 to reach your goal. So let's play with some numbers. Does anyone want to, I'll tell you what's your number of leads that you need to hit each month. So go ahead and type in, first person to type in the chat, what is your sales goal per month? Go ahead and type that in and I will calculate for you. You'll get to be my example. I'm pulling up the chat. Okay, so Shelly was first. So Shelly's goal is 40,000 per month. Okay, Shelly, what's the average new sale amount? So like the most popular dollar amount that a new client comes in at. Go ahead and type that in. So Shelly, $9,000, okay? So Shelly needs 4.4 sales per month. So what's your conversion ratio? Do you know what percentage of people that you talk to sign up? Go ahead and type that in. Not sure, then I'm going to put it in at 25%, because 25% is pretty average. And do you know the percentage of appointments that hold? If you don't, we'll leave it at 70%. That's pretty average. Not sure. Okay, so I'm just going to leave these numbers in. They're pretty average numbers. So 70%, 20%, 20%. So she needs 635 leads per month to hit her marketing goal. So the next thing that we do is we go through, by the way, you guys, that number makes literally everybody want to wet their pants. Like that is a sick to the stomach number for everybody. So if that number freaks you out, don't worry about it. This is just your starting point. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at 3 ways that we can decrease the number of leads we need in order to hit our sales goals. So number one thing that she could do is she could increase her prices. She could go up to 12,000. And that is going to, oops, if I put in a real number here, that's going to bring it down. Now she only needs like 476 leads. So that brought that down by 200 leads. So that's one thing you can do is you can focus on high-end sales. If she was to go up to like 18,000, then she would be at 317.46. So one thing that you can do is you can focus on a higher end service and a high ticket sale. The next thing that you can do is you can increase your closing ratio. This is by actually working on your sales process, like proactively working on your sales process. So if we could get this percentage up by 10%, then that number drops down to 226 leads. And if we could increase this hold ratio to like 80%, then it goes down to 198 leads. And so we can proactively work on our sales process to get these leads to go down. Now, the biggest thing that you can do though, is actually follow up with every single lead. So often I meet business owners. I have a client right now who we just launched her organic lead gen and follow-up team. And she's converted in 2 weeks, 25,000 in sales off of people who have been old on her list for a long, long time. So she's been doing organic lead generation, but she just wasn't following up with any of them. So some of them have been on her, it's 20-year-old business. Some of them have been following her for like 10 plus years. Nobody ever followed up with them. All of a sudden she's following up with them. And in 2 weeks, $25,000 in sales and this is the really exciting part. She has about 40,000 in sales in the pipeline right now of deals that will be closing, just simply because they're actually following up with those leads. Who could get excited about that, you guys? That is awesome. I'm excited for her. Okay, so Shelly's excited. Shelly, are you the only one that's excited here? You guys, come on, who else is excited? I want to see some excitement around this because
I'm also excited.
Yeah, Juan's excited. I'm excited. Shelly's excited. Stan's excited. Hopefully those of you guys who are watching online streaming too are excited because this is what we want. We want to figure out what's the simplest way to make our business successful. Now, if any of you do want that form and you want to play around with the numbers, I'm happy to send that to you. You can actually just email me, amy@amywalkerconsulting.com, and tell me, hey, I want that form, and I'm happy to send it to you. Now, once we know how many leads we need, now we need to go through and we need to actually figure out where are those leads coming from. Are we going to get some leads from networking? Are we going to get some leads from speaking to groups? Are we going to do joint venture webinars like I'm doing with Wishpond right now? Are we going to do vendor booths? Are we going to do podcast interviews? Are we going to run ads? Are we going to use lead magnets that Juan's going to be teaching you about? There's so many things that we can do, but we have to understand we're not going to get all of our leads from one place. It just doesn't work that way. So we want to create a balance and we want to be able to understand how many leads do we need and now come up with a plan in order to get it. So that number is only scary which by the way, you guys, these are my numbers right here up at the top. That's my goal. That's my numbers. That number is only scary if I don't have a plan for how to get the leads. And too often what happens is we don't actually have a plan for how to get the leads, or the marketing that we're doing is not bringing in leads. It's just like how many of you have ever felt like you're constantly putting stuff out, but like it's not getting you leads? It might be getting likes, it might be getting conversation, but it's not actually generating leads. So we're going to clean that up here. Okay, so let's just wrap this point up and then we'll move on. 3 strategies to sell big with less leads: have a high-end offer, follow up with every single one of your leads, and then tighten up your conversion numbers. So if you have ever felt like this lady where you're just out there like yelling from the rooftops, trying to let everybody know what you're up to, but it's not really working and you're getting a little bit of a sore, scratchy throat, let's talk about what it actually takes to acquire and close a lead. So there's 5 steps. The first is your marketing materials. And Juan is going to talk more about this. This is your landing pages. This is your lead magnets. This is your emails, all of the things, social media posts, all the things that you need to produce in order to make your campaign successful. Then you need visibility. How are you going to get people seeing what you are actually doing? Then you're going to need lead capture. So this is a way that you can actually grab the leads, a way that you can actually bring them into your pool so that you can start building a relationship with them. Because if you don't have a relationship with them, you know, like it's kind of like proposing marriage to somebody that you just met at a club. It's weird and they're not ready to take that next step with you. The next thing is lead nurture. We've got to build that relationship with them and then create a positive sales experience. So anything that you've ever done with marketing that didn't work, I promise you, it was missing one of these things. Okay. I don't know exactly which one, but something in here, there was a hole in your sales system. So if we want to get really good at acquiring leads and closing deals, this is what we've got to do. Okay, so let's talk about, I'm going to give you just a couple of ideas here on how you can create more visibility in things that are working really well right now. Partner marketing is working really well. Partner marketing is where you partner up with somebody else who does something similar to you, but different. You work with a similar client base and you create a cross promotion for each other. So Wishpond and I are partner marketing today. Affiliates, that's finding people who are brand fans and would be willing to go out and promote and let other people know what you're doing. Being really consistent with your content creation. Inconsistency is what kills most people's content because all of the platforms want you to show up and they want you to show up consistently. Groups, Facebook groups get good visibility, more than your business page by far. Are you utilizing groups? Ads are a great way to increase visibility. Obviously, that's going to be a paid thing, but they can definitely increase your visibility. Video is also another one that's free and that works really, really well. I do want to also give you one tip on lead capture. Because I'm a big believer in following up with every single lead, I ask for the phone numbers, but I don't require it. So if somebody really doesn't want to, give me their phone number, they don't have to, but I'm always going to ask for the phone number so that I can have that opportunity to follow up. All right. Now, I want to give you just 5 free strategies, and this is what I'll end with today, things that are really working well right now to bring leads into your business for free. And they're not trendy either, you guys. They're things that have been working really well for years. So number 1 is LinkedIn events. LinkedIn will actually allow you to invite 1,000 people per week to your events. We're bringing in anywhere between like 50 and 100 new leads a month just from LinkedIn events. Is that crazy? So every week we can go and invite 1,000 new people. Facebook events only lets you invite 500 and they don't give you good visibility. LinkedIn, when you create the event, it also shows up on the news feed. And when people are RSVPing to come, it shows up on the news feed. So that has been a great lead generation source for us, totally free. The next is live video. If you guys aren't doing live video, it is the thing that like breaks the algorithm and gets you so much more traction, but make sure that when you're doing live video, that you're doing it with those 5 steps in mind. So what assets do I need to create to promote the live video? I recommend that you create an event that tells people you're going live, and then you go live, and then you have a lead magnet, which Juan is going to talk about, and then you lead them into your funnel so you can close and follow up with them. A Facebook group funnel is another one, having a group that is actually built as a funnel, not just a group where people come hang out, but a group that is built to be part of a funnel. Workshops and webinars are still working. And if you want to joint venture partner with somebody else, that will bring even more people to the party. And then speaking gigs, you guys, I've had 2 speaking gigs this year that were both ended up being 6-figure speaking gigs with clients that I closed from those events. So if you're not out there speaking, it is time to start doing that. Most of the speaking that I do is is online, but there is some small group in-person speaking that is starting to come back. So there are a lot of ways, and that's really what I hope that you take away from this, is there are a lot of ways to be a very effective marketer and bring people into your business consistently. You just have to know that you've got the right strategy dialed in for your business. So Juan, I'm going to turn it over to you, and then at the end we'll answer questions. So let me make you I'm going to stop my share.
Sure.
And then
yeah, I think Juan can turn the camera right now. Yeah. Are you able, Juan?
Yes.
There we go.
Thank you. Okay, so hello, people. Thank you for being here, for giving us your time. I hope you can learn a lot from what we're talking about right now. If you have any questions, I'm taking a look all the time to the chat, so feel free to ask them, right? And nevertheless, at the end, we're going to have like a Q&A session for you to dig deeper on the things that we discussed here. So first, as Mariana was telling about me, I have some years of experience in digital marketing, actually a lot. I have worked with companies like Spotify, Hershey's, and other big companies. And now, like the currency right now on digital marketing are leads, right? Because everybody, like if you have a really good amount of leads, you can have, I'm going to share my screen right now. If you have a good amount of leads, you can make a lot of things. That's something that we're going to take a look right now. So, okay, let's talk about lead magnets. Someone here knows what a lead magnet is? Someone has any idea? Okay, so yeah, perfect, Shelly. So a lead magnet, it's a marketing tool for increasing form fills, right? Its name says it like almost all. So basically, it's a way for you to attract new leads to your company. Something you give away in return for their contact info. Yeah, it's part of the process, and I'm going to show you why a lead magnet is so important and why you should have like some fundamentals when you're working with lead magnets. So when you have this type of magnets, you're like basically like attracting people to your brand. So you have to give them something back. So here's a golden rule for marketing, not just like lead generation, like in general. And I also use it in my life, and it's give more than you expect to receive, and you will receive much more than you have given. If you always think like this way, you'll have like great results. Why? Because most of the times, like in all the years I've been working with lots of companies, one of the things like they usually told me, it's like, hey, if I give like my best tips and advices for free, nobody will buy me like the other things I'm selling. And actually, it's quite the opposite. If you like give all the things you know and you have, people will buy you whatever you sell to them, because you have proven that you are like an expert and that you know what you're talking about. So when you're going to create a lead magnet, you have to have like these 4 principles. First, the perceived value of what you're offering should be high, right? So if you're, for example, in Amy's case, the table that she just showed us and that she tells you like, hey, you can send me an email so I can send you the table. that's a lead magnet. She's capturing your leads. And in exchange of that, like she can make a lot of strategies in the future that we will talk about, but you will also be receiving something really useful for you. And with this conference and what she just talked about, like you can see that she's an expert on the topic and that she knows what she's talking about. So it's the same here. For example, I'm going to show you here. This is from Alex here on the chat. He sent us this webpage. So here, if you're going to talk about, for example, heavy music, you need like to generate like to the perceived value of what you're offering should be really high for people to leave their email or their name or their phone number. Okay, what also makes a good lead magnet? If it's relevant for your audience. For example, maybe I don't like heavy music, so what you're trying, like what you're giving for free, could be really valuable, but not for me if I don't like what you're offering. So you should know your audience really well, so you can show them or give them something really valuable for them. So you have to know your audience really good. Also, it shows you are an expert on that topic. So it's not like just giving something for free because you just want their email. You have to show that you're an expert, because if you're going to sell something more in the future, they must know that you know what you're talking about. For example, in this case, if you're going to talk about heavy music, maybe you should you should show that you really know about like heavy metal or other like genres. And it promises a quick win. So if I leave you my email or my phone number, what I'm going to get right now, I need like an immediate like an exchange, right? So if I give you my phone number, I'll be expecting something really valuable right now, not something in a month or 3 months. Usually, but there are some exceptions that we are going to see in a moment. So there are several ways to capture leads. And as Amy was telling you about, like, for example, she always asks for a phone number. Here, we have a really simple formula here. The more parts or the more information you ask for in a form, the less leads you will receive. But they will have a bigger intention on purchasing your product in the future. Why? Because nobody wants to leave all their data in any web page, because we all know that we're going to get like email bombarded, we are going to receive calls, we are going to receive text messages. So if you actually want to have a lot of leads, then you should ask for something really simple. If you want tons of leads, just ask for the email. But if you want people with a higher purchase intent for your product or service, you should go with a longer form, because you will filter a lot of people that are not so interested in what you're selling or what you're offering. Someone has any questions here? Okay, now let's talk about some examples. For example, a webinar. A webinar is a great way to get leads. In this case, we get some leads for people that register to the webinar. And with that information, we can do something in the future. We can send you more information about the Wishpond platform, for example. So we can, we're getting you in the top of the funnel of our strategy. And it works really good if what you're selling or what you're offering has these 4 characteristics, right? Now, a guide, for example, all these things I'm showing you here are Wishpond examples. So for example, in this case, we were offering a guide for people that were going to visit Maui. So we offered them a quick guide to visit Maui during COVID time. So they will leave their data here. After that, they will receive a PDF. And because we know they are interested in going to Maui, now we retarget them with the information of the company we were working with. Now, for example, an ebook. If I tell you that I have the secret formula for lead generation, how to get more than 10,000 leads a month through an ebook, and I put a form or a pop-up or a landing page for you to register, I guess that most of you will leave their data. So that's something that you can offer. But remember, it has to be valuable. It has to be like instant. If I register, I want the ebook right now. I don't want the ebook in a year. And it has like, first I have to show you that I'm kind of an expert or an expert in what I'm talking about for you to leave the data. Also here, for example, product samples or trials. Here, if you leave us your information, you'll receive a free sample of this product. So here we are capturing leads, we are sending you the product, and we know that you're interested in what we're offering. Here, product trials, the same. So, hey, you want a 7-day trial? Register here so you can win, or we can send it to you just paying, I don't know, the shipment. We have free consultations. For example, here, you want a free consultation with Amy Walker, 50 minutes free consultation. Leave your data here and I'll send you an email with a calendar link. Something like that could also work really good. And giveaways. Giveaways are like other tool that tends to work really, really good. If you have a good audience or people that already know your brand and what you're selling, it's really clear. Because if you offer something for free and something valuable for the people, they will register. It's like if I tell you like, hey, if you register to this giveaway, we'll give you a year of free Wishpond. Most of you will register because you know the value of a platform like this one, and you will register because you know that we're experts, that we can make your life easier, and you will register. But be careful with the giveaways. If you have a giveaway but you don't have your audience, like you're not that clear with the audience you have, or your product is really new, or your service is really new, you will first have to work like on getting more people to the top of the funnel, to see your webpage, to know your brand, to know what you're selling, so you can like put them to participate in the giveaway. And early access. I'm going to make a pause here. If you can tell me about if you can send me maybe the web pages of your companies, that will be great. So we can make like a live example. So that will be awesome. Also, early access. For example, let's say heavy music artwork is going to have a special, I don't know, a special t-shirt coming next year. But they're going to have an early access, and only 50 people will get a special edition in red rather than in black. And if you have a really good audience, that could help them like convert from just traffic to a lead from your company. Now let's talk about the other the web pages that you're sending here. So we have stop and regrow and college ready plan. So let's start with the first one, heavy music. For example, here, if I come here and I really like heavy music, and I like art, and I like all this, okay, awesome. But you have to have something in mind. Almost nobody is going to purchase at the first time they go to your website. So even if you're running ads and you have, I don't know, a Facebook traffic campaign and you're sending traffic to your website, almost nobody is going to purchase the first time they come here, right? Because first they want to see the brand, to know what you're selling, to know what you're offering. So here is where the lead magnets come in hand. For example, if you have, if Alex puts here a pop-up that says something like, hey, I'm going to be giving, I don't know, heavy music wallpapers monthly or weekly, or I'll be giving you, I don't know, news about heavy music all over the world, something like that. If I'm a really big fan of what they're offering, I will leave my data because that's something that like I'm interested in. Now let's come here. So for Alex, I recommend that you use here or a pop-up, or you put a section here for people to leave their information and register. Okay, for example, here you have sign up to our newsletter. Great, this is a lead magnet, but maybe it needs like more strength, because you need to to show these four things that we were talking about here. Sorry, these four things. So with this, are you really like showing that it's a high value newsletter? You're not telling me anything about that. Is it relevant for the audience? I don't know. It's just a newsletter, but you're not telling me like anything more. It shows you're an expert, not that much. It promises a quick win. Actually, no, because you're telling me like sign up to our newsletter, but is it a monthly, a weekly? What information am I going to receive? So most of the people like won't join because they're not getting like that information through the text you have here. So that's like my recommendation. Now let's talk about stop and regrow. Here, when I come here, okay, you're telling me what you have, and here is a lead magnet. Schedule your free phone consultation with a hair regrowth expert. Great. So if I click here, I get to this form. Yeah, okay. I have this information. I put it here, and I guess like it will send me like an event. And let's talk about college ready. So if I, sorry, I closed the pop-up, but it had a pop-up. So it has a really good lead magnet because it's telling me what they're offering at the exact time I come to the webpage. Now let's continue here. Okay, so you have already captured the leads. What's next? Here comes the next process that's called lead nurturing. So lead nurturing is the process of driving the leads, okay, the ones you already got with the lead magnets, through your marketing funnel or customer journey. I guess most of you have heard of these terms. Marketing funnel, it's just taking people from the awareness, like part of your strategy. So you get people to see your brand for the first time until you get them to purchase your product. Okay. Customer journey, it's kind of the same. Now let's talk about the fundamentals of lead nurturing. So for you to make a good lead nurturing, you have to have like a really good understanding on what's happening. So the first part, it's understand there's a process before people purchase your products or services. Now let's go back here. Okay, you got people to, let's jump here. So you got people to register for the free phone consultation. That doesn't mean they are like really to purchase your product. It just means that they are interested in what you're selling, but they are not like into it that much. So you have to understand that there's the marketing funnel, the customer journey. First, you want to get people's attention. After that, you have like to show them why you are worth it. And if they're like maybe looking at your brand in the competition, like you have to show what you're worth it from the competition. Okay. After that, you have to tell people like, hey, if you are, I don't know, thinking on acquiring this treatment, I have something special for you. I have like a percentage, a discount, a promotion. If you come with a friend, I'll give you a 50% discount. Like here, you will work with all these like marketing strategies and tactics, but you have to understand that if you are like getting leads, they are here. You will have to work on them. And that's what Amy was telling you about. Like you're getting people, but you have to make like really good efforts because you have to close them and you have to talk to them, and not all of them are going to respond you, and you're not going to close with all of them. So that's why she was putting like these numbers like, hey, you need, I don't know, 10,000 leads for closing 100, because it's part of a process. You have to get them from here to here. Also, you have to map your content. Okay, so I'm capturing a lead. After that, what's going to happen? What's the first email I'm going to send them? And what's the second email? And am I going to make remarketing campaigns? Am I going to make a webinar? Like you have to really understand what's happening like to your leads, because if you don't make like this simple map, you can do it on paper, you can do it like whatever you want. You have to understand what's happening in each part. So for example, let's say I schedule a call here. So what's going to happen next? Am I going to receive an email? Am I going to receive a text message? Okay, let's do it. Am I going to, I don't know, get a calendar link? Okay, after that, I'm going to have a call. What's going to happen after the call? So what options like am I getting there? Will you send me another email? Will you schedule another appointment? Will you create a marketing campaign with my information so I can see like the ads again or your company again? That's super important for you, like to create a map on what's going to happen to your leads, because you need to understand that if you don't make this and you don't understand like where are they going, you're going to lose them at one part of the funnel. Also, super important, measure the progress. You need to understand if you have some, for example, an email, a welcome email after I sign up here, what's going to happen? So, hey, are people opening the emails? How many people? Are they seeing the email? Are they clicking on the link I have inside the email? Also, you have to automate the process. And here on Wishpond, we have a really good tool that it's the email automation. So for example, in this case, we have a client. So when people place an order, but they don't purchase a product, they will receive a series of emails. So, hey, you'll receive first this email. After that, after 5 days, you'll receive this another email like, hey, you forgot something in your cart. And at any moment of this process, if that person ends up purchasing a product, they will stop receiving emails. So this is a really good tool if you're thinking on automating all your processes. And that's something that you should do. Like if you, for example, here, people register for more information, they should receive like a series of emails. And you should know what's going to happen on each part of the process. Where are you sending them? Okay, so if you can automate the process, do it. It's super important. Also, create content value for each phase. For example, here we have an email, and this email was from a client of us, and they were not trying to sell anything here. They were just selling like their leads that they have a new project on Kickstarter that has like a lot of things coming in the future and things like that. This is part of the lead nurturing. You should not always sell. Remember, if you give more than you expect to receive, you will receive more than you expect to receive. Okay. Here, create multi-channel content. It's not just creating emails. You will have to create ads. You will have to send them emails. Like if you complement this email part and this automation part with another strategies like remarketing campaigns, because you already have their data, you have their email. With that information, you can create Google campaigns, Facebook campaigns, and really specific campaigns. So you should get into this if you want to really have a good lead nurturing campaign. I know it's not organic, but it's part of the process if you wish to leverage your strategy. And a good tool can help you get where you want faster. So here's where I make the commercial advice, and I invite you all to visit wishpond.com. We are an excellent tool to create these lead nurturing processes, to have campaigns. Like we have a really strong and robust platform that could help you understand all this in an easier way. And just to finish, please, always in marketing and in life, give more than you expect to receive, and you will receive much more than you have given. Someone maybe has any questions? That was it from my side. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we can start with the question and answer section. If anyone has any questions, you can talk to Juan and Amy about. And don't go, because we're going to be giving the free year account as well. I'll be asking one question. So Shelly is asking, is there one lead magnet that works better for consultants?
That's a really good question. I think that you have to test your market. I know that I have two lead magnets that perform better than anything else for me. One is my book. And then the other one is my marketing assessment, where I'll go through someone's marketing plan and see how it's working, and then give them a report on it. So those two are working really well, but I've got other people who have done great with like just a really usable tool. I think it's figuring out what are the biggest pain points for your audience, and then creating an easy way for them to be able to solve that. And I do notice that right now with lead magnets, what's performing the best is something that's easy to digest and easy to use. Like a few years ago, we used to do really well with like free courses. Like here's a free 4-module course. And now nobody wants to do that because they know it's just gonna be videos that they don't actually watch. So something that is easy to digest seems to be working really well right now.
I totally agree. Yeah, and here, sorry, Mariana.
No, it's okay.
Like on marketing, one of the things that you have to have always in mind is that there's no golden formula, that you have to try, you have to test, remove the things that didn't work for you and keep doing the things that work for you. Like nobody's going to give you a magic formula. Yeah, you have to try and you have to see like which thing that you're doing generates more results for you.
Okay, so I think we have another question here. Is there any lead magnet besides the free consultations that you would recommend for our hair regrowth program? Not everyone is ready to schedule an app to talk to someone. So I would like to get more leads that we can add then nurture into the open consult.
Okay. Do you want to start or should I start?
You start, you go first,
Okay.
and then I'll add in.
Okay, yeah. So as maybe, for example, for this type of company, this type of lead magnet, like remember when we talk about the marketing funnel? So on the top of the funnel, you have people that are kind of interested, but not that into your brand. So what you're having here, it's a really good magnet if you already know the people, right? If you already like send people to your website, they already visit your website, saw your products, like saw your videos, things like that. It's easier if you send them here. But on the top of the funnel, you should be like, you're asking for a big commitment because you're asking for people to give 15 minutes of their time to hear someone trying to sell them something. So here maybe you can change the strategy. You should have this, but for people that already interacted with you, right? So maybe you can start like, hey, I can give you 5 tips that really work to stop losing your hair. Or I don't know, natural treatments for hair regrowth, things like that. Maybe like you're not asking for that big commitment. And people maybe will like convert easier. And after you send them like a couple of useful emails, not just emails selling, that's the important thing. Remember, if you want people to connect with you, stop selling to them. So you should start like giving advice. So after a couple of emails and interactions, you can tell them like, hey, I think you're ready for a free consultation. Let's talk for 15 minutes, something like that. Amy?
Yeah, so Tracy just put in that the problem is none of those things actually work. So what if you were to do something like the 5 biggest lies in the hair regrowth industry, and then you were to like show all the things that people say work that don't actually work and why they don't work, so that they can stop wasting money. That might be something if you're in an industry where you're like, yeah, I could put together 10 tips, but they may or may not work for that person because it's more complicated. You could go for like the myths about hair loss, or biggest lies about hair loss, or things Rogaine won't tell you. Like you could kind of go that different path and see if that helps you. But I totally agree with Juan that they need something that like they can download that is going to just give them that taste test, because scheduling a consultation with you, that's like going out on a date with someone, right? Like I always love to think about marketing as dating. If you just meet someone at like you see them online, you don't reach out and say, hey, you want to go on a date right now? Like, what's the first thing you do? You communicate. you get to know each other, you check them out, you're getting a feel for that person. And so that's where they're at when they first come across you. They're not ready to schedule the date. They're not ready to be proposed to. They're ready to be like, do I have any interest? I don't know. Let's see what you're about. So I completely agree with Juan there.
Yeah, you have to know your audience and to know what they really need, not what you're selling them, but what they really need. So, for example, I could be like a client for your treatment. And here, if you talk to me and you tell me like, hey, I'll be sending you, I don't know, tips monthly, and we'll be doing webinars to help you like regrow your hair, maybe I will like leave the information because that's something that I'm interested in. So yeah, totally agree with Amy. And marketing is like a relationship. You cannot ask for marriage in the first date.
It's creepy. People do it, but it's creepy. I do not recommend. What other questions do you guys have? Go ahead and type them into the chat. I think we've got just a couple more minutes here.
Okay.
Maybe we were so thorough, Juan, that we've answered every marketing question known to man.
I guess. Okay, I think Tracy has another question. Okay, shoot. What do you recommend we can do for a B2B company that has a very specialized product? Okay, I'm going to answer first, Tracy. Some people in the industry lie about what's working. Okay. Okay, Olympia, what do you recommend we can do for a B2B company that has a very specialized product? First, you have to know your audience. Let's say you are selling, I don't know, consultancy for accountants, right? And it's consultancy on a specific type of format they need to fill, right? So first you need to work with the top of funnel. You need to talk to consultants, right? And you need to take them here and you need to create strategies like, hey, for example, you can have a webinar with another consultant or another person that has more leverage than you. So you can talk together, you can talk about a specific topic together. With that webinar, you will be sending leads. You can have a landing page for people searching for that information on Google. And maybe you can work on, I don't know, on marketing campaigns for having those results first. So when people look on Google how to fill this form, you can have that landing page to send people to that landing page. Like, hey, you want to know how to fill this, download this PDF, something like that. Maybe if you tell me more about, okay, you have a tech platform. For example, for tech platforms, one issue that we have here with this type of companies is that it's a really competitive market, and the strategies, like the pay strategies, are really high. But if you're working organically, maybe you can start working in the problem solution and not what you're selling. That's part of the big issue normally, companies have. They talk about what they're selling, know what they are solving. So if you start like getting, I don't know, LinkedIn webinars, if you start, let's say, for example, here, let's talk about this. You give early access to a new thing your platform will have, or you have a giveaway and you tell them like, hey, I will be giving away one free license for a year, something like we are doing here with Wishpond, and maybe you can start like generating some leads. Amy, do you have maybe?
Yeah, I have a couple things in there that I think work really well for your industry, Olympia. One is partner marketing. So who is your user? So you have a tech platform, but who's the user? Somebody somewhere has already marketed to the users and has already gathered together that audience. So plug in with them. So Mariana reached out to me, I don't know, was it a year and a half ago? And she was like, hey, do you want to collaborate together? And I said, yes. They're a tech platform. I'm somebody who has a bunch of entrepreneurs in my audience. So what I would look at is, okay, so if you've got retailers, so what are the associations for the retail associations? What are the shows and the conferences that they do for retailers? Right now, a lot of the big shows are closed. So they're trying to create online content, but they don't really have online content. They're not set up to do that. So if you could create an online content that's not a demo of your platform, but it's like solving a problem that retailers have, and then reach out to the people who have already gathered that audience. The other thing about retailers that may work for you is doing a contact marketing campaign. There's a book called How to Get a Meeting with Anyone by Stu Heineck that covers contact marketing. But the thing with retailers is you can find them, you can prospect them online. And then if you can create a really killer reach out strategy that you're even doing through, I know this can sound like the ancient times, but even mail, direct mail. Yeah, the name of the book is How to Get a Meeting with Anyone by Stu Heineck. So it's always interesting when we feel like our product is really unique. It doesn't mean that the path to the customer needs to be really unique. Sometimes like tried and true methods are what you need to do. You just need to figure out how to apply these for your business. So I would look at partner marketing. I would look at what are the associations or organizations or groups that retailers are already a part of. And then I would look at direct marketing to them.
Yeah. And something that you have to have in mind when you make B2B campaigns is that it's normally like really different to what you do on B2C campaigns. Because here you have to like generate a more direct contact. You can even like go to LinkedIn and contact people directly and send them to your website. Because here you don't want like volume, you want quality. Because not everyone is going to purchase a high-end product. Okay, Tracy, thank you, Oliver. Tracy has a question here. So most companies in the industry lie about what works and everyone pays money for products that don't work and get frustrated and then don't believe us either because they've been lied to so much. As a guy who is in our target market age group, would you believe my brand telling you that Rogaine, laser helmets, PRP, transplants do not stop hair loss, even if I included Y? Or would it come across as us also lying to make the sale? In general, I don't like to badmouth others in marketing. However, those solutions don't stop hair loss. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So do you know why the influencer marketing is so popular right now? And yeah, it has always been popular. Because you believe easier to other people than to a brand. So if I'm super excited to buy the new iPhone 13 and I go to a party and I meet with a friend that I know that really likes technology, and he tells me, hey, don't buy it. iPhone 13 is the worst phone that has ever come up. I will not buy because I believe in him, right? So here, what you should do, it's maybe start using like testimonials, having some killer videos of people telling their experience with your brand, showing how it was before and how it is now. Like all that makes people believe more in your brand. So if you tell me what you're telling me here, I won't believe you. But if you show me what other people have like generated with your product or with your services, maybe I'm going to believe you because I'm seeing results. I'm seeing things that have already worked for others. Amy, do you have maybe something here?
I have a brand to take a look at that did it really well and then it backfired. So the brand is Diva Curl. So Diva Curl, like a few years ago, they're a brand for curly hair products, and they went and found people with curly hair, influencers, got them to use their products, and then they would use all of their info as all of their marketing. So everything was like user generated content. Now, the problem that they had was they sold the brand and then the new brand started making people's hair fall out. And so then all of their influencers turned on them and it went really bad, really fast. But if you look at what they were doing with marketing like 3 to 5 years ago, it's exactly what Juan is talking about. And they did an amazing job at just going out there and finding all of these influencers and building a great community. And they really did build strong relationships with their influencers. Like it was like a family. It was like the cool kids club and everybody was hanging out together. And so I totally think that would be a great case study for you to look at, but you just have to look a few years ago. Otherwise you'll look now and be like, what? That's not what I want. It's really bad right now, but it was good. They had a golden age of influencer marketing.
And yes, we are trying. So many guys don't want others. So you have to give them like something for them to share their experience. Like, hey, or maybe you can get someone like, come here, I'll give you a 50% discount, but I will use you in all my strategies. Something like that could work because you're giving something in exchange of that, like future promotion. And maybe that's something that could work for you. Maybe you can even do a giveaway. Like, hey, we're looking for someone to be to be on our ads. And we are offering this. Sign up if you want to participate. That's something that maybe could work, but understand something, like a lead, it's an investment in the future. A lead, it's something you won't go right now and cash back. A lead is something that you will get the investment of that after a year or after 2 years. For example, in my case, I leave things in my Amazon cart for months before I purchase that product. And I guess most of you are kind of the same. We don't purchase things immediately. We wait for a reason to purchase or not to purchase, but it's not something immediately. And that's why you have to always be there and you have to like be constant with your community. And that's it.
Awesome.
Okay, that's it. So I'm just gonna ask one question here, so everyone can have a chance to win a free Wishpond account for a year. So be ready. I'm gonna share my screen right now for the question. Just a sec. Okay, so to win a free Wishpond account for a year, the first person who actually comment is gonna be the one who win. Mention one lead magnet example.
Tracy.
Tracy. Yay, Tracy, exactly. Yeah. These are the examples: webinars, guides, ebooks, pro samples, trials, free consultations, giveaways, early access. So thank you so much, Tracy. Can you please just let me your email? Olympia, I'm gonna see what I can do for you as well. Don't worry, because you were like commenting a lot and everything. So please both just leave me your emails. And yeah, thank you so much. I'll follow up with you through email just to give you the access, Tracy, and let's see what we can do for Olympia as well.
Okay. Olympia, so leave your email. Okay, perfect.
Great.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and remember, like, test, try different things, and measure. That's the only way you'll know what works. And stop looking for the perfect formula. Each company is totally different, and see what works for you.
Okay. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Juan and Amy. This was a very helpful webinar. A lot of info. So thank you so much.
Thank you for all being here.
Thanks. Okay.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you,
guys.
Bye.
Bye.